What's going on, guys? Supersavage789 here, bringing you guys a video. Today we're doing What If Steve Was Never Frozen, Part 4. In the last part, we covered how John Walker ended up meeting Zola and began to work with him in secret. Not only did he learn how to control Bucky, but he also got the Super Soldier Serum. Ultimately, he ended up heading to France to capture Batroc with Sam Wilson in hot pursuit to save Bucky, which is where we'll pick up from now. Sam would arrive in France and begins to look for either Batroc or John. Steve would be helping him over the comms, which would help him calm his nerves. Despite his tracking though, he'd still come up short. Ultimately, after a lot of nothing, Batroc's gang would make their move. They'd begin to rob a bank, using guns and grenades to blow up walls and allow them access to the vault. It would get a lot of attention, leading to cops being called and being just as quickly put down by Batroc's men. Luckily, however, help is on the way. Through the wreckage comes charging in John, Lamar, and the Winter Soldier. Of ease, the men are all taken down, however it leaves Lamar quite disturbed. Both John and Bucky are being quite violent in how they subdue people. He doesn't mention it right now, however he does take note of it. As they finish clearing out the front room, they're quick to realize Batroc and a few of his men aren't present within. Before they get the chance to look for him though, Sam Wilson would arrive. John, not knowing who this is, tells Sam that it's okay, they've got this handled. Sam isn't there for that. He looks at Bucky with his mask on, quite stagnant, and then back at John, asking what he did to Bucky. Obviously, John doesn't take too well to this accusation, stating that the Winter Soldier came with him on his own volition. Both Sam and Steve, however, would clearly see through this obvious lie. Doing his best to remember the Russian Zola taught him, John cruelly attempts to tell the Winter Soldier to attack. As if a robot, Bucky would comply and lunges at Sam. John and reluctantly Lamar would rush off, not wanting to lose Batroc, leaving Sam to the wolves. Bucky would begin to shoot at Sam, which he blocks using his wings, boosting him forward with his thrusters to allow him to disarm Bucky. The duo begin to engage in hand-to-hand combat. Obviously, Sam is at a heavy disadvantage as Bucky is able to get some good hits onto him. Steve tells Sam to place the comms in his ear, which Sam sees as risky. He would, however, comply. Channeling all his strength, Sam rushes at Bucky and places the comms in his ear right as he gets hit with an uppercut, sending him into a state between consciousness and unconsciousness. As Bucky raises up his hand though to finish him off, he hears Steve loudly shout in his ear to stop. Despite his mind control, he manages to barely restrain himself. These past couple decades, you've done so much good, Buck. You've helped people and stopped the Winter Soldiers. You stopped an alien invasion. Don't mess it up now. Do become that man again, Bucky. I'm with you till the end of the line. Despite being mind-controlled, Bucky would gather all his strength and turn around, removing the comms from his ear. He crushes it and continues moving. His target now changed. His mind isn't fully in control yet, but he still knows what must be done. Meanwhile, John and Lamar would catch it to Batroc and his remaining men. While Lamar fights off the foot grunts, John immediately goes for Batroc. He'd begin to overpower Batroc, being more ruthless in his attacks. Batroc is taken aback by John's immense strength as opposed to what it was before. Before John could land the final blow onto Batroc though, a hard metal punch would hit him in the back of the head, slamming him into the wall. He looks to see Bucky now targeting him. He tries to call off Bucky using the Winter Soldier code words, but under the circumstances, he says them too crudely and begins forgetting some of the words. Bucky had beat down John, removing his shield from the equation by throwing it into the wall. He gets some good blows onto him, which allows Batroc to escape. John tells Bucky to obey him, but instead punched out the window to a car parked down below. Lamar and Bucky make eye contact, however Lamar is more focused on helping his friend. Over with Sam, he'd awakened to Steve shouting in his ear and coughing due to old age. He briefs Sam on the situation, telling him he needs to catch up with him. He uses all his strength and rushes over to the hole in the wall to see John in hot pursuit of Batroc's truck, leaving Lamar alone in the building. Sam would activate wings and flies after them. After Batroc tires are shot out, he'd crash straight into town square. He crumbles out and begins to limp away. Under all the stress and pressure, John apprehends Batroc and goes too far, killing him in front of everyone by unloading his gun into him several times. Over the comms, Zola tells John to get out of there before anyone can capture him. While reluctant, he does comply, and rushes away. Sam, however, would be in hot pursuit, cornering him in a warehouse. Sam tries to talk John down, telling him that if he comes with him now and is compliant, nothing bad will happen to him. He'll speak to the DA and give him a reduced sentence. John would bark back that he doesn't even know who Sam is. He's Captain America. He should respect him. Sam remarks that he isn't his Captain America. The duo then fight, with John overpowering Sam with ease. He'd remove his wings and beats him onto the ground. Despite beating Sam though, he doesn't kill him. Zola warns him that if he kills anyone else, it'll be a lot harder to defend himself in future endeavors. So reluctantly, John just knocks Sam out. John would head straight back to Zola, asking him what to do now. While Zola is quite annoyed at John, he still believes he can recover from this. For now, John will have to lay low and stay with the remnants of Hydra. If they can regroup, maybe John will be able to recruit people to the cause. It's a different plan, but a plan nonetheless. So John would head to Baron von Strucker's base of operations, serving as the final base of Hydra. He'd also get a new costume where he is dubbed Captain Hydra. Back over with the Allies, Steve would be with Sam, Fury, as well as a team of agents tasked with finding Bucky initially. Sam would explain what happened, and Steve explains the situation afterward. Bucky is still missing, but at least he's not under mind control. John is also in hiding. Fury then asks what happened to Lamar. As if on cue, Lamar walks in, holding the shield. While the agents all begin to draw their guns, Steven mentions how it's alright. He called him here himself. Lamar mentions that he doesn't know what happened to John, but that person isn't his friend. He's been acting weird, and he just wants to help his buddy. Maybe he can still be saved. One thing is for certain though, he isn't Captain America. He then hands the shield back to Steve. Natasha then brings up they need to locate John. However, Lamar mentions that it isn't an issue. The moment he realized something was off, he planted a tracker on his phone, as well as on his person. So now with his location, they all prepare to attack. Sam and Steve would then begin to talk to each other, both believing they're going to have to sit this one out. Upon seeing Steve holding the shield, Sam would ask him a question. So how does it feel to hold that shield again? It feels tainted. I'm no longer Captain America, so it just feels like someone else's. Maybe it'd be best if you did come back. The world's gonna need a Captain America to pick up the pieces after what John did anyway. It's as if you read my mind. Why don't you try it on? Wait, you're serious? You hardly even know me. I don't need to know you, Sam. In the short time I've known you, I know you have a good heart. You're a good man, Sam. If anyone has to be Captain America, it's gotta be you. Thank you. I'll do my best. Just a shame I don't have my wings. I wouldn't be too sure about that. Steve then hands him a box with the label Stark on it. Within it is the Captain America costume, albeit some slight moderations. Since Sam knows how dangerous it is for someone else to be Captain America, he'd accept the title and becomes Captain America much earlier than canon. The elite soldiers, as well as Natasha, Sharon, and even Lamar would head off to Stryker's base. They'd show up on the radar, leaving all the Hydra agents on high alert, ready to fight. Everyone knows that this could be the end of Hydra altogether, or the beginning of their reign. Fights would then begin. Sharon would stay with the unnamed soldiers since John and Stryker aren't present, so Natasha, Sam, and Lamar would go on ahead. Sharon would be able to lead the SHIELD agents to victory in defeating the soldiers, due to being a good soldier herself. Upon realizing the trio are after them, as well as how badly the soldiers are doing, Stryker tells John he needs to escape. Take the helicopter and regroup with Zola. There's no need for him to be captured as well. He won't argue, and merely begins to attempt to flee. The trio catch up to Stryker and begins to shoot an assault rifle at them. Natasha would disarm him with a gunshot, shooting the gun out of his hand. Sam asks where is John, leading to Stryker laughing that it's too late. He's already gone. Sam would realize he's on the roof, leading to Lamar and Sam rushing away, leaving Stryker in the hands of Natasha. The duo would partake in hand-to-hand combat, but obviously Natasha defeats him through a drawn-out ninja battle. The duo would make it to the roof, whereas John begins to make a getaway. Sam would be in hot pursuit, flying up and knocking John out of the back onto the roof. Sam would then be occupied with keeping the helicopter from landing on the SHIELD agents below, doing his best to regain control of it mid-air. It leaves John and Lamar face to face with each other. Lamar tries to show John that there's no need to fight, which John agrees with. He tells Lamar to join him, and together they can make Project Insight a possibility. Of course, Lamar doesn't agree, trying to talk John down. Feeling betrayed and enraged, John shouts that he thought he could trust him. He thought they were friends. Before he even knows what he's doing, he pulls out a handgun and shoots Lamar in the head, killing him instantly. Sam would arrive back on the roof and sees what happened. Like a wounded animal, John shouts to Sam to look what he made him do. John and Sam then begin a final battle. The fight is intense, but ultimately it leaves John the loser and Sam the victor. It does leave Sam realizing though that he needs to train himself with the shield a lot more, if he's going to be Captain America anyway. John will be placed in the raft due to his super soldier abilities, making him enhanced. There would be a funeral for Lamar, where Sam would apologize for Lamar's death to his family. Someday he hopes that John will be well enough to apologize to them himself. As for Steve, one morning, he'd head downstairs to see a note left on the table. It's from Bucky. Hey Steve, it's me, Bug. I'm gonna be away for a while. I thought I left that life of mine behind me, but I guess I can never truly escape it. Until I find a way to get it out of me, I won't be back. Don't try and find me. I'm sorry. P.S. Here's where John got the super soldier serum. On the note, it'd be coordinates to where Zola resides. Steve would let S.H.I.E.L.D. know, leading to Zola's demise for a second time, which truly finishes off Hydra. The last scene in this movie would be Sam standing proud in his Captain America outfit, as he does a press conference, similar to the one that John did. The last line would be, I am Captain America. What would you guys call this movie? If I had to pick a name, I'd say Captain America and the Falcon. However, I'm curious if anyone else has a better title. That's where we're going to leave off this timeline for right now, though. If you enjoyed it, why not hit the like button as it supports the channel and lets me know you want to see another part. And with MCU What If either right around the corner or out, depending on how long it takes me to edit this, I feel like it was quite fitting to do this. What I wanted to do originally was have a What If based on the What Ifs coming out then. But the Peggy idea just seems kind of boring to me. I mean, it's a fascinating idea, but when I've done this, meh. So I decided, let's just do this, and then I'll see their reactions. My people will talk to your people, we'll get back with a conclusion. And, yeah. Bye.